Now we're in the gym. The gym is decorated with pictures of the Indian way of life of the past. And it seems like something else is going on here besides basketball in the gym. Maybe Richard Hartman can explain. Richard, what in the heck's going on here?
Well, right now we're in the process of collating an important document as far as the tribe is concerned. It's an OEDP, which stands for Overall Economic Development Plan. It consists of an amassed documentation of socioeconomic statistics concerning the reservation. It has maps denoting the physical features, physiography, etc. It also has a list of projects that the tribe will attempt over a period of 5 years down the road to become self-sufficient with revenue-producing industries and recreation and everything else. So kind of master plan type of deal. So.
A master plan sort of projection for the future.
Right, yeah. More or less a 5-year projection.
A 5-year projected plan. And who are all the helpers you've got here?
These people are the NYC people, I believe.
The people that normally might be playing basketball
right,
here.
Yeah, all these people are youth members of the community, and
right.
they're being good enough to help me assemble this booklet, which is really quite a trick considering the amount of pages. If you can get a kind of a shot down there, it's
yeah, I think we have. Okay, Richard, thanks. We'll let you go back to work. And now, mentioning NIAAA, the director of the NIAAA program, Ted Nelson. Ted, what is NIAAA?
Well, NIAAA stands for the National Institute on Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse.
What does that have to do with you?
Well, this program was brought in by the Tribal Council, St. Croix Tribal Council, as an alternative or a prevention type program. Now, as alternatives, we have basketball, and we have softball, we have skiing, we have bowling, all these type of alternatives to alcohol and drugs.
So by alternative, you mean something to take the place of probably the habitat, or I mean the locale they might go.
Right. To give them something to do with their free time or leisure time, as you want to call it.
Well, as far as servicing the communities, how many people do you have under your direction?
I have 5 youth workers under me, and 1 youth worker resides in Danbury, 1 in round. Bernice Springer is in Danbury, Robert Merrill is in Luck, Kurt Beerhart is in Maple Plains, and Leo Butler works between Maple Plains and Sand Lake, and he handles the non-Indians of the community. And the Sand Lake youth worker is Bill Vogel. And through these communities, we attempt to get all the kids involved in the NIAAA program to give them an alternative to the drug and alcohol situation.
I see. So part of the actual program then is orienting them on the proper use of drugs, and I say drugs, aspirin and whatever, and
yeah,
not to use
right.
the harmful drugs. And
right now we have a class being a drug education class being conducted by the Indian Head Alcoholism Program, which is based in Amory, but the director is at the Northern Pines Guidance Clinic in Cumberland. His name is Tom Magnuson, and his wife Joanne Magnuson conducts these education classes for our youth workers and tribal council members and whoever wants to participate.
So that if any problem does come up, why there's counseling available for the youth, so that they don't get in deeper than what we would like to see them.
Right now our youth workers are over at Mount Scenario College in Ladysmith, and they're doing a 4-day workshop on this type of thing, community problems, community situations. And we're looking forward to receiving their reports when they come back.
So your job then is to map out a program for the youth. I suppose you have guidelines.
Oh yes, yeah. We have a definite set of goals and objectives. Some of them are far-reaching, but we will attempt to complete these goals.
Okay, Ted. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sounds like it.
Just to take time, if it's a hot day or something. Hey, Dave, my camera just went upstairs.
Look for a scale.
Yeah.
Are you coming back later?
Put it outside, you're still smoking while I left, but I wonder if when you're done here, if I can borrow your camera.
I wonder how far we got. We got up to...
We have to redo it.
do the whole thing over?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
All right.
We'll do it over, man. And now we're in the bookkeeping office of St. Croix. I'm closing the door because the bookkeeping office adjoins the gym. This is Marion Reynolds. Marion, what is your job here in the bookkeeping section?
I'm the CETA administrator. I also do all the books for the CETA program. And I also take care of the timesheets for the SEP program.
Well, what is CETA and SEP?
CETA is Comprehensive Employment and Training Act. SEP is the Concentrated Employment Act. And CETA is a training program.
Approximately how many people are involved?
Employed?
Employed. Mm-hmm.
At the present time with our summer program, there are about 35 employees.
And you keep the time and the payroll on this? Is
Yes.
that right? Mm-hmm. And there's another desk across the way over here that belongs to Donald Taylor. And he's we call him the head bookkeeper?
Yes, he's
Chief bookkeeper?
the tribal council bookkeeper. He takes care of all the programs under the tribal council.
And I understand Donald is in Superior today on business.
Yes.
And how many separate books do you keep for the programs in that is administered by the tribe?
About 10 to 15, I'm not sure.
About 10 or 15.
Yes.
Can you give us an idea of just how many people are involved? That is, how many people you're administering to these books?
I have no
Couple
idea
hundred?
about that, yes.
Couple hundred? Well, that's quite a bit of employment. Okay, Marion, thanks. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Oh,
No? Except it's a very warm day today.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. And over here we have Cyril Fosmo. And Cyril, what is your job in this section?
I keep books for NIAAA Youth Program.
Oh, the NIAAA program. That's the...
Well, that's for alcohol and alcoholism, drug abuse. This program mainly counsels the youth in drugs and alcohol.
And as far as your books, do you cover payrolls and...
Yes, I take care of everything in NIAAA. I take care of the money that comes in from the government and the payroll, whoever works on this program. Yeah, that's about it.
How many people do you think that you're administering to?
Oh, for payroll, there's 7 people.
7 people. Mm-hmm.
It's the director and the youth workers and myself.
All right. And, of course, there are trips and one thing and another, basketballs and...
Yeah, they have a Little League and Babe Ruth League, too, that they play softball in the summer and baseball. Yeah.
And basketball when the gym isn't being used.
Right, they play
Yeah.
basketball a lot.
Okay. Well, thanks much, Cyril. And now we'll take off and see the forestry.
Yeah.
They will discuss their individual jobs and how the interplay of the state and our local community here at the St. Croix dovetail in their law enforcement and also the hunting and fishing activities. Dwayne?
As chairman of the Fish and Wildlife Committee, it's mostly my job to try to set up rules and regulations governing our fish and wildlife, and also in cooperation with the Department of Natural Resources, we are trying to get the rules and regulations down so everyone knows what's going on the St. Croix Reservation. It has become quite a problem, but I'm sure with the wardens and the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the St. Croix Tribal Council, these projects will be completed. Would you like to add something, Jim?
I'm a state conservation warden working for the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, and the St. Croix tribal area is part of it's in my assigned area, and consequently I'm trying to work in cooperation with the tribal authorities. And the general thought is to promote conservation and hunting and preserve our hunting and fishing regulations for the future. I found I have received good cooperation from St. Croix in this. I think that the Hunting and Fishing Committee has done a good job as to this point.
Dwayne, just one other thing I want to ask you. Is it right to say that you're an Indian deputy funded by a government program to work with the Indian communities in Burnett County? I mean, you are a member of the Sheriff's Department in Burnett County.
No, I work for the Burnett County Sheriff's Department. I am a county deputy, but we do have a program. The St. Croix has a program that they do have an Indian deputy, which is Kenny Nelson, and his primary function is to work with the Indians throughout the area of this county.
So the big difference between you and Kenny, you're directly employed by the sheriff, and Kenny is on a separate grant as an Indian deputy for the community.
Yes, that's true.
Is that right?
That's true.
Well, thanks much, Jim and Dwayne. And now we'll move on to our next assignment. Come here. Oh, hey, yeah. Be real quiet. Otherwise, this will get on the tape.
All right, team.
And this is the start of the Forestry Office. This is a new program unique with the tribe at St. Croix here. This program was funded for one reason, that is to maintain a balance within the ecology that we have. The forestry program will be in existence for 1 year until we prove that there is a need and there are favorable results from the program. To begin with, we started out in the winter and we did much study about forestry and also wildlife and recreation. What we plan in the program is to combine all of these things in the 1,700 acres that we have. So far, we have pruned our plantations. In the St. Croix tribal area, we have 5 plantations, one at Clam Lake, one at Boshaw Lake, 3 of them at Round Lake. We're also in the process of setting up timber sales through BIA, and of course now during the summer everything is more or less at a standstill with the forestry. But on the other end, our recreation program, we are putting in a campground at Danbury and also one at Round Lake. The one at Danbury will be for canoeists mainly and more or less transient campers going along Highway 35. But mainly it will be for canoeists on the St. Croix, which has been designated a wild river. In Danbury also, I might mention, first of all, I'd like to say that you'll see the campground, a very commercial venture being undertaken at Round Lake. This you'll see when the crew goes to Round Lake. Last on our list in forestry projects, that is under the forestry title, we have a cultural aspect. This is cemeteries, Indian burial grounds that have been long forgotten, or not necessarily forgotten, but because of the land changeover, the Indian has been denied, say, access to the burial grounds. We're also identifying the mounds that the mound builders built in the area. Also relocating the campgrounds and so forth. The bulldozer in this part of the country is progressing at such a rate that if we don't document some of these things, why, in place of the trees that we have surrounding the reservation, we'll have probably apartment buildings or whatever. So it's our attempt, at least if we can't preserve some of these things, to document them. So the forestry program really is a fourfold program. Forestry and good management, fish and wildlife, the increase because of our good forestry management, and the aspect of recreation. We're trying to use everything we've got to please the public and also to better ourselves through jobs and employment. I'd like to say, too, that this is just one of the programs administered by the St. Croix Tribal Council, one of 22 programs that are administered by the council from this center. There are also 8 committees that operate in and out of this center. The forestry office here, we are in the process of building, is in the garage part of the center. Here we plan on storing our tools. We don't plan on carpeting the floor or anything like that. It's mainly to store our tools and have some place to store our paperwork, etc. And now we can move on to the next program.
Shall I go in there and settle this problem first? This man. I owe him some money, I suppose.
You go ahead, Rich. Go ahead and start.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Richard Hartman. I'm a community planner with the St. Croix Tribal Council. And I have the distinct honor this afternoon to talk with Doris Emery, one of the Tribal Council members and very active tribal government members. We're located here in one of the administrative offices of the Tri-County Ojibwa Center. And what I'm going to do this afternoon is ask Doris a little bit about what she does.
What do I do?
How many titles do you have, Doris?
Several.
Yeah, as you can see by the signs.
They sent you some stuff in January from R.D. Smith Company and they haven't gotten paid for it yet.
Tell them the payment will be forthcoming. See, one of my titles is the Executive Director of Housing. I'm the Indian Health Administrator. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the St. Croix Tribal Council. And I am the Tribal Manager of the St. Croix Tribe. Okay,
maybe we could just back up and take each one of those categories and tell us a little bit about what you do on each one of them. For example, what do you do as Director of the Housing Authority? What are your main responsibilities?
Well, the main purpose of my job with the Housing Authority is to collect the rents, make sure they're banked, the correct receipts are given. I also work with Hawkins, Ash, and Babty, that's an auditing firm from La Crosse. They take care of all the necessary reports that go to HUD. They make up the yearly budget. I also have new people making applications for housing. I keep those on file and we have to keep those current. I direct the maintenance man to do the repairs for the buildings. I pay the utility costs on the tribal hall here and the one at Round Lake.
Keeps you busy. What about with the Indian health contract?
The Indian health contract is, I administer the Indian health contract. I voucher out the services that are performed for the St. Croix Tribe, the people that qualify. And I send it out to the Indian Health Service at Rhinelander, and then we're paid like every 6 weeks for services performed for 1 month. Then I pay all the health service bills. Then I meet with we have an Indian Health Committee that, they keep, they search out, the health needs of the community and the ways to correct them. I meet with them once a month.
Kind of assess needs, in
Yes.
other words. Okay. What are your responsibilities or duties as tribal manager?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's like a complaint department.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Anything that the tribal chairman doesn't handle and delegates to me, then I have to deal with it.
I see. Could you give us a couple examples, maybe, of some of the things that you do, maybe, as tribal manager?
Well, I supervise the elderly feeding cooks, the elderly service counselors, the community workers, the NYC workers, and see, who else do I supervise? And I kind of oversee the CHRs.
I see. Okay. When do you find time to do all this?
I really don't know. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Now what else?
What else was there we're going to talk about?
Well, let's see, what else do we do here? I also supervise the accounting office.
Oh, aren't you also the principal investigator for NIAAA?
Yeah, I'm the
project?
principal investigator for the NIAAA.
What does that mean now? Is that's...
I am the one that ensures that the program will be carried out according to NIAAA guidelines.
According to the goals and objectives?
Yes.
I see.
Then I also am the financial officer for the campground project. And as much as I'm the only one that's bonded.
That's quite a responsibility. Well, that's about it for her. All right, Mayor. Also with us this afternoon we have Mr. Bud Revard, who's the St. Croix Tribal maintenance person. He gets directly involved with what Doris and I just talked about before, the housing project, or the housing authority homes. If you could tell us, Mr. Revard, just what are some of your responsibilities as top maintenance person?
Well, making sure that the furnaces are always going when it's winter time, and keeping the water heaters, sump pumps, wells working, and sewers unplugged, which is whenever they do plug up. And then now we are pumping all the septic tanks out through all the areas, which we expect to be done about next Wednesday.
Quite an array of jobs. Are you on call more or less 24 hours a day? Like if it's, let's say it's winter and somebody's furnace goes out about 2 in the morning or something and it's pretty cold.
Yes.
They give you a call and you come.
Yeah.
Restore the heat. I see.
Sometimes with older people you have to go around.
Do you work just up here at this community? St. Croix has 4 communities. Do you work just at the Sand Lake community?
Sand Lake, Danbury, and Round Lake.
Danbury. So you travel quite a bit then too with your calls. I see. Anyone else to say?
The Housing Authority has a truck that he drives on.
Oh, okay. Do you have separate responsibilities for the Housing Authority homes? Do you just deal with Housing Authority homes, or do you deal with all the residents' homes in the communities?
Mostly all just the Housing Authority homes.
Mostly just the Housing Authority homes. How do you get from job to job? Do you have
the Housing Authority has their own truck.
They have their own truck.
I use that all the time.
Do you have your own tools, or are the tools supplied to you, or?
I furnish all my own tools.
You do most of this work by yourself then?
Most of the time.
I see.
Once in a while you have to have help on wells when you're pulling a pump. Otherwise it's always alone.
Have you helped with installation of any of the things like pumps or wells or any of that stuff?
On the pumps I have, whenever one goes out we change them ourselves.
I see.
Because you're outside.
Do you help maintain this building too?
Yeah.
Like if the boilers are...
Right.
Are there boilers in this building? I'm not sure.
No, all furnaces.
It's all furnaces, forced air heating?
Forced air heating. And the water they have is a water heater.
I see.
But I take care of the tribal hall in Round Lake. And tribal hall for fitting the other way down here in Danbury.
I see. So I guess you keep yourself pretty busy, or they keep you pretty busy.
Yeah, they keep it going.
Have they
That's pretty
received
good.
Yes.
Yeah. You could really ham it up and say, my name is it Linda? My name is Linda. Make believe you're your favorite actor.
Yeah. Laugh while you're doing it, man. You're funny.
Yeah, stand up and do a couple of bouncing grinds.
Yeah, come on, say. My name is Linda Otis.
Daryl, you can do it, Daryl. Well, why don't you demonstrate for her?
What do I say?
Whatever you think Linda should say. If whatever Linda should say, you know.
Whatever she should say?
Yeah, sure. How?
I don't know what to say.
No. Be a second Jerry Lewis in this second. Oh, just ham it up. We never have to tell you kids what to say.
Yeah, isn't that something? Boy, during the day.
Kids.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Daryl.
Every time they start working
I can see.
the camera in the direction and we got it made.
Yeah. Put that iron out there. Yeah.
I won't say. Stage fright.
Me and Mom.
Stage fright.
Tell us how frightened you are.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, why are you nervous?
I've never been like this before.
You know, it's silly because it's nothing but a little box, there's no noise, there's nothing. And you changed your mood just like that.
Yeah.
For nothing. Why?
Hey, I don't know.
You want McDaniels, Daryl?
You get nervous. Very nervous.
Come here, Dwayne. Tell him how to be a wild.
Come on. Look at this. Look at the film. Hi.
No, what is it?
Come on, speak
What?
up,
Figure out what is it? Look, it's this little
look at
thing
that.
here.
It's a camera.
I know. I mean, so what?
It's a big one. How about doing a John?
Look at him nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about doing a John Wayne?
Yeah,
No,
I
know.
You saying,
I just lost my voice.
you saying Walls McDaniels. Do
I'll
it.
tell you. What we could do is go up to Danbury and get Susie and see how that would
No.
work out.
Harry, don't get back in here.
No.
Hurry up, get back in here.
No.
You want me to handle it up? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, you can be let's see, be
okay, come
John
here.
Wayne.
Come here and give me your hat then.
Okay. Be a John Wayne.
There. There. No.
Be a John Wayne.
A John Wayne? How can I be a John Wayne?
I don't know.
I'm handsomer than that. Okay.
Don't get nervous.
I'm not nervous.
Look at him nervous.
Look at
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, be a John Wayne.
Well, there's nothing to be nervous about. It's just a little box. The only thing that you're nervous about, what you've done, you've projected yourself beyond the point of the camera. You've projected yourself already to the replay.
It's staring
You know.
at you.
Huh?
You get nervous when something's staring at you.
Well, that's because of the replay. You're not nervous because the camera's pointing at you now, I mean, for what's going on now, but what you're thinking about is how it's going to come over later, see? And there's a little bit of idea that you might be ridiculed or, you know, you might appear a little different from what you appear. If you could see it first and then delete everything, it might make it a little different. You know, if you had a camera yourself, you could set it up.
You can take a picture of my cap if you want. Pretty nice one.
It is difficult without some meaningful.
Nice and nice.
You should have that behind the door when someone comes in. Me again.
Do a zoom.
Down the hill where they're brushing and...
How far does that camera reach?
They don't know what to do.
As long as it's forward.
No.
Oh, you mean...
Oh, let me see what I'd pick up outside.
Half a mile? Half a mile?
Not real clearly. I don't know. Across the road, maybe. There's trees.
Would depend on your lens.
Yeah.
You could put different adapters on the end of that with a lens or something.
Well, you probably get a different lens with a longer angle.
Shine on it in Bob.
Which one's Big Bob?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
It's pretty hard to pick him up right where he is there, because of the light. It's and.
They're getting you, Bob. Speak. Speak.
Let's see. I gotta get my focus in. I'll come over here and focus in on that light switch.
Not on a light switch on here.
Let's see.
What do you think he is? A human?
There's that light switch.
Put it on Gene when he comes in the door here.
Oh, is Gene coming in now?
Yep. He comes, put it on the door here.
Did?
He won't even know it's on.
Hey.
Gene. You're on camera. He's getting nervous.
Good morning. She's already shot her footage and she's ready to go home.
Shining out his boots.
5 minutes of film, she's told the whole story.
You got some real characters around here.
Bad act.
Linda, go.
Okay.
This is Big Mama. She has big, long, bushy hair.
Oh, long, beautiful hair.
Big stems and roots.
Okay.
Big roots
You're
and
on.
stems.
No, introduce her now.
This is Mama.
Shut up. Oh. This is Diane
She's wearing stems and roots.
Look how long her hair is.
It's stems and roots.
You're right, Diane.
Yeah. Tell her about your.
Looking at your lovely legs.
Yeah, you tell her that.
Okay, tell us
It
about
got split ends.
Just say how long your hair is.
Yeah. Focusing on me, man. Action.
6 years. It's that long. Yeah, it took 6 years.
Took 6 years. Where you going? She's nervous. Right here on me.
Okay, now I'm big.
Who you focus on, this one or that one?
Cassie.
Kathy Massage.
They put it on the side. Oh, the chair. She has long hair once.
This is her sister. She has roots too.
Kathy.
Her.
Don't pick it.
This is Gwen Button. She has black hair.
No. Yeah, that's I. Oh.
Smile. Candid camera.
Okay, do one of Okay, do one of her.
Get it.
She doesn't want to get it, but get it before she leaves. Sarah at the side. Yeah, okay.
Smile.
Yeah, this is my mom.
Yeah. You wait 1 minute.
What else should I? She's got nice short curly hair.
Well, ask her a question.
What are you doing with that? I'm like, what? Say how old
No, like, how do you like the new building or something?
How do you like the new building? Yeah, Kathy, you like her.
I like both of you here. Okay, let me look at it. Okay. How do you like the new building?
Oh,
Number 44.
oh me. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't get you in focus there, though.
Yeah, this is Little Red on Big Red. I beat Little Red up.
You see here a redheaded person. He looks like a boy, but he's a girl. You realize. What's your name? He's nervous. Don't bother with him, he's nervous. His name is Ricky. From Ricky Cleveland. Dance around now. Dance. Also dance.
Come on, dance.
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 You're on TV.
Dance. Dance.
Dance.
Grab him, Daryl, and
Start
start dancing.
around, you know. Dance. Don't do that. Oh, we never. Come on, buddy. No.
You want me to take you with you with the girl?
No, I don't want to be. I'm just horsing around here.
Okay.
Well, we might as well fill up the thing.
I'll play it back for him.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Who are you pointing at? Her?
Her. Him.
You pointing it at her?
Both of you.
Both of us, huh?
This is, Big Daryl. Yeah, they call him Karen.
Oh, no listener. Get back over here. Ready? Okay. Saint man. How can you wear that hat all the time? Your image. Jeez, why you think you're Billy Jack? No. Speak up, come on, you're on camera. Don't look at me, look at the camera. Look at the camera. Don't move, you're losing your pose. There you go. Come on now. Show off these. Come on. Okay, how come it's dirty around the rim? Hey. Never seen it. Come on, speak up. Say something. How old are you? 6?
That's quite 5.
That's quite 5. What's this? He finally takes a good look at his hand for once.
Hurry up.
Yeah, take camera off.
Diana.
John, go over there, Linda. What do I have in Washington? Just ask him how come we don't, if he works at MSC, how come we don't work? Introduce him. This is, Mike Cleveland. And,
Yeah. Ask him how long it takes his hair to grow off his chest.
18 years.
18 years. Speak up.
Pay no attention to the camera. That's just, you know. You could talk. You could show us that magnificent hair on your chest and tell us about it. And you know, and really make a big thing of it.
that's what he's saying.
Sure. Yeah.
How long do you think?
And throw out, you know, throw out your chest. That guy right there?
Okay, introduce him.
Let me ask him a question.
Okay, introduce him, will you? And then I'll move my camera to him.
Vicky, introduce him.
Okay.
This is Steven. Steven.
Do that on the side. Do what you did on the side.
Smile, yeah.
Turn around, talk.
Say something. Move
Show
your
your
chair
chain
that
on your
way.
neck.
Can you
Show
think
that
of a
long
question?
chain.
Tell us about what's
Tell us when you passed out.
Can't wait, Gene.
I know, it's Gene.
Some of the time you paint your face. Yeah.
Now, is there anybody I haven't gotten?
Bobby over.
No.
Okay, this is Big Butt.
That one right there.
This is
The one in the red jacket.
Stand right there. Look
And
at
Darwin, you gotta introduce him.
This is Bobby Otis.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Wait
they
a
not?
minute. Oh. Hide the flower.
That's Bob. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait.
You wait.
Okay.
And him too. It's Bob. I'll just have my hand coming in there.
Okay, say it now.
It's from Flanju High. No, South Dakota.
Okay, now introduce him.
Do you really go to Flandre?
Oh, yeah.
How do you like it?
Okay.
How many kids in that school? I heard they had a good basketball team.
It ain't done. He's gonna be a football star.
Oh.
Aren't ya?
Do you really play football?
Show off your biceps. You're gonna be 7 feet tall.
Okay, now get Darwin and Bobby will introduce
Get
him.
Cat.
Who's Darwin?
Yeah, right.
Hey, get over there, library.
Show him how to take care of the
You
library.
can shut it off now.
Okay.
And then we'll listen, we'll look. Yeah, look at it. It's a quarter now. I charge him a quarter.
Admission?
Yeah. Me, you said I was going to get off the last.